We, the monster taming community, need to support Dragon Quest Monsters, The Dark Prince, and here's why. So for context, I've made videos like this in the past, but the monster taming genre has primarily been something that has been glued together by the indie developers that exist within it. This is honestly great, because in my opinion, indie developers seem to make some of the most high-effort games for their budgets. Sure, the scope of an indie game is typically limited, however, with what these indie devs have, they use their blood, sweat, and tears to put together some amazing titles that in terms of content and passion put a lot of AAA studios to shame. Now that being said, the monster taming genre is something that in the grand scheme of things is niche in name, but obviously not niche in terms of total players, since we have a lot of games like Temtem, Pokemon, Digimon, Shin Megami Tensei, etc. that have sold well. Now that being said, when it comes to big budget monster taming games that will grab the attention of a lot of monster taming fans that might not even know about the wider genre, these types of games are few and far in between, and furthermore, most of them are relegated to spin-offs with games like Monster Hunter Stories, World of Final Fantasy, and in today's case, Dragon Quest Monsters. Now, despite this, a lot of these spin-off games have actually sold quite well. Monster Hunter Stories 2, for example, sold over 1 million copies, and the Dragon Quest Monsters sub-series seems to be quite popular within its circle. So if you are someone who is wanting monster taming games outside of Pokemon, these are the types of games we need to support if you want there to be any sort of progress in the popularity of the genre, again, outside of Pokemon. Oftentimes I'll hear people complain about how Pokemon needs a rival, and the only way Pokemon's going to get any better is if it has competition. And while I don't want to set any of these games to be the next quote-unquote Pokemon killer, because I think that sets them up for failure, I do also want to iterate that if you are one of these people that wants other games to, again, rise to the occasion, you have to show that with your wallet, because at the end of the day, the more a game sells, the more attention is put on it, and therefore the more attention will be put on the monster taming genre as a whole, emboldening other companies to put out more AA and AAA monster taming games, and the cycle will repeat from there. I say the exact same thing with a lot of these indie games too. The more we support our monster taming developers, whether they be indie, AA, AAA, etc., the more growth we will see, and honestly, that's what this channel is all about. Outside of that, there are a few reasons why I think that Dragon Quest Monsters is something that you should support specifically. I know a lot of people do have differing opinions about Square Enix, but one thing I can definitely say is that the Dragon Quest titles and even Dragon Quest Treasures are very good games. They're recognizable, they're visually appealing, and they have a lot of history behind them. When I think of franchises that could, again, rise to the occasion when it comes to challenging Pokemon, these are the types of things that embolden them. That's why I've stated in the past, franchises like Digimon need to step up their game in the video games department if they want a shot at capitalizing on the monster taming upswing which we are currently experiencing. The way these Dragon Quest spin-offs tend to be set up also make them very digestible for newcomers. Like, for example, with Dragon Quest Treasures, you are playing as a character from Dragon Quest XI. However, Dragon Quest XI is by no means a prerequisite to playing Treasures, nor are any of the other Dragon Quest Monsters titles to playing this one. A lot of people have mentioned that the new protagonist was actually a character from a previous game. I don't even know who that is, but what I will say is it doesn't really matter, because these games have respect for their long-term fans, but are also welcoming to new fans. Something that does oftentimes infuriate me is the fact that so many people will complain about modern Pokemon games, which again, I completely understand the criticism and complaints associated with it. However, I don't like when these same people will complain but not support other monster taming games that are putting effort to give the fans what they want with the lesser resources that they have, because of arbitrary reasons that the same people will still buy Pokemon over. But yeah, all in all, if you've been a monster taming fan for a long time, this video will definitely resonate with you a lot more than if you're a newcomer to this channel. But I will say over the past few years, there has been a growing sentiment for change within monster taming, specifically with Pokemon, and a lot of people want more games to cause Pokemon to improve. And while I don't think this should be your only reason for buying or supporting other games, I definitely think that if you're going to complain that you want change in Pokemon and you want more monster taming games and all that, it's time to put your money where your mouth is, and this is one of the main reasons that I personally try to support every monster taming game I possibly can. But yeah, just a quick video, sort of a call to action or a PSA. I don't expect this game to sell 20 million copies or anything crazy like that, but if we can get this game to sell like 1 million, maybe even 2 million, I do think that'll act as a step in the right direction to embolden more franchises to try similar things. Look at Temtem. Temtem inspired a lot of other monster taming games, whether you like Temtem or not. Cassette Beast, for example, would not be a thing without Temtem. So there's definitely a lot that can come from a game that sells even just a 20th of what a Pokemon game would. But let me know what you guys think about this discussion. If you're a long-time monster taming fan, definitely make sure to add anything you think I missed. If you're new to the monster taming community, just understand that there is a lot of context behind this type of discussion, as we've been having these for almost 4 years now. Personally, I think the new Dragon Quest monster game looks cool, and I'm really excited to checking it out. I'll be making guides, breakdowns, let's plays, etc. So definitely make sure to subscribe for that, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.